Hello, everybody. My name is Stacy Valley, and I am your host for today. And I'm also going to be your motivational cheerleader. I am honored to be here. This is such a wondrous occasion, and it's called Be a Blessing Day.
About domestic violence, you think of someone, maybe a victim who they may not have known themselves, or they may not be successful, or things like that. But I'm here to tell you guys that it can literally happen to anyone. Last year, I was planning my wedding and to the man that I thought was the love of my life, and I knew that he struggled with anxiety and depression, but I didn't, it wasn't a big deal, nothing like that. I come from a background of being in psychology. I was a child behavior therapist for almost 7 years before I started my company. I own an event production company. And just as we were, the week of the wedding, 4 days prior, he was just highly upset. I couldn't pinpoint what was going on. And literally, like I said, 4 days prior, he almost killed me. He had a psychotic break, and literally I was fighting for my life. I'm not sure of your religion or where you stand with your spirituality, but I'm a very spiritual person. And the only reason that I'm standing here today is because the Lord literally was with me during that whole incident. And the Lord literally was telling me, baby girl, you have to fight. And I'm telling you guys this because, and now, being a millennial and all this type of stuff, dating and getting married and all that kind of stuff, it's a really big deal. But I'm telling you guys, this was someone who had a great job, was well educated. You would have never thought that he was struggling internally with other things. And I'm not sure if you guys saw, but Kid Cudi was struggling with depression, and a bunch of other celebrities struggling with depression. And a lot of times we don't know what depression looks like if someone is successful. We don't know what successful depression looks like. I hate to say it that way. But I went through that incident, and when I came out of that incident, I still had a wedding to pay for that didn't happen. I still had to run my company, and then I also had to take care of myself. So I'm standing here now almost a year later, and I'm grateful that all of you are here. I'm grateful that the Lord has placed upon me to speak for other people, share my story, be able to give back in other ways. Since that incident, I have started my own nonprofit that helps creative women entrepreneurs who may be, struggling with getting their businesses to a certain extent, and all those kinds of things. Over the past year, I have to tell you guys, it has been the hardest thing to say that, yes, I am, a woman CEO, I have, 2 degrees, I've done this, I've done that, I've traveled the whole world, but I too am a domestic violence survivor.
And we all go through it in some type of way. We just have to identify it verbally, emotionally, physically, all these things. You have to first identify it in your mind. What is it I'm going through? And then secondly, you have to tell yourself, I'm going to get through it, and believe it. Not just say it. You have to believe that you're going to get through it because you're stronger than any situation that's coming about from you. And then lastly, be deliberate about your life. What I mean by deliberate is wake up every day and know what you're going to do every second, every minute, every hour, every month, every year. You know exactly what you're going to do. So I'm going to end it with this. I talk about it in my book about a GPS. Everybody, right now, we're going to get in this truck and we're going to drive to Memphis. Most of the time, we're going to put the address, the last destination inside of our phone, right? And we're going to put it in there, and that's the end destination. We're going to drive the step-by-step instructions that the GPS is going to give us. You're going to need that in life. So what you need to do is go get a notebook. Write down at the top what you're trying to achieve, whatever it is, business, finances, relationship, right at the top what you're going to try to achieve. And then I want you to write down the steps to get to there. It's okay to write a goal down, but you need to write down the steps to get to that goal. You need the tasks in between. Stop thinking that once you write it down and you look it out on the board, you're going to get to it. You need the tasks in between, the things, the work that you need to put in to get to that goal.
Golden star. You look at the
Bravo's network on Top Shelf. Trey? I just want to ask you a few questions. So tell us, give us a little bit of background about yourself.
I'm a 25-year experienced executive chef. I grew up in a city called Duncanville. Found what my passion was very young in life, and pursuing the more you know, the more you work, and it's gotten me here. I'm a single dad, 15-year-old daughter back in the back. Alexis. So to get away from the restaurant industry, which you know is a lot of hours, a lot of time, I realized that I needed to get away from that because I could always go back and be an executive chef, but I want to be a dad once. So this allows me to have more time at home, take care of my kid, you know, daughters need their dad. So thank you for coming to the venue. I do want to recognize someone else that's been a complete partner in this new venue for me, Kenny Wynn. If you haven't met him, you know, this is basically my team right here, my little brother and my daughter. So please show him the love because he takes care of all the regulating, he coordinated this, and thank you all for coming.